The battery, I don't know, ran out or something, but there's another Caucasian. This is what these doctors are doing. Who the fuck are these doctors? Do you know that we're doctors as well? If you ever come into the community that I live in, I really wish you officials would just walk into the community, wear some makeup, and pretend that you're a different ethnicity. Just dress yourself up. I remember there was a guy named, I forget, I think it's Ralph Elverson. He wrote this text, Black Like Me. What some people did when I used to watch TV was they actually put some makeup on their face. They're whites. They put makeup on their face to see what it was like to be a black person. We don't even begin to think to do that. Because you know what? We love who we are. So we're going to be in your face. We're going to go to the top dogs. All these people think it's funny. Where I live, a lot of sick people. You know, they take these pharmaceuticals, they collect social assistance, and they say they're disabled. They're not disabled because you know what? They're bringing all kinds of shit. Weed, crack cocaine, heroin, everything. Why hasn't 12 Division actually shut down this housing? This is called white-collar crime. And if you don't even have a police force that can even begin to conceptualize something called white-collar crime, why do you even have a police force? They're actually a non-profit organization. So we'll set up our own non-profit organizations. We'll police ourselves. Like, this is how some people think. My position, I work within a civil and democratic infrastructure. And I'm waiting for all these comments to say, oh, you know, she's promoting, you know, civil war and stuff. Am I promoting civil war? Then you know what? Go fucking start reading a dictionary. I'm reporting to you guys some things. Mike Sullivan, I'm reporting this to you as well. I'm not reporting you, I'm reporting this to you as well. Mike Sullivan is actually my MP, but he's from NDP. And I'll tell you something, Mike Sullivan, NDP is not even responsive to this kind of stuff. You know who actually is just beginning to respond? Or maybe they've been doing something for quite a while. It was actually the Conservatives talking about legislation to address racial profiling. I'm putting this all on video. I'm going to get in touch with the National Film Board of Canada. I actually called them and wanted to get in touch with them to see how I could work with a producer to work on a piece. But at the time I contacted them some months ago, I wasn't sure exactly what piece, but I wanted to do something related to how do you actually activate more positive images of black in the community or the black community. And you know what? I'm going to contact them and I'm going to send you the video footage about doing a piece in regards to responses to racial profiling in Canada and the NAFTA region. You know, we should be able to use our resources here in Canada. And you know what? They're not working for us. If you see where I live, if you see the amount of sick Caucasians, ask about all these deaths in the community. There's all this attention around these murders, you know, a black male was killed in the community or whatever. But you know what? There's a lot of suicides. What they write off as suicides. And it's not that they're writing these off as suicides legitimately, because they're not doing any investigation. This is the problem with the pharmaceutical industry. A black male was found. He was found dead. Right where I live, just a couple doors down. He was found dead. And you know who showed up? I think it's called Global TV showed up because they wanted to film a black male dead on the couch. So there was a black female who's actually working in the housing that I live in as a part of the landlord stuff. What they did was they said, get the fuck out of here. The media showed up, wanted to film a dead black male. And you know what? He had problems with infestation in his place. You know why? Because there's administrative harassment. And where on the pathology reports is there a citation to the environmental scan? Administrative harassment, landlord harassment. These people where I live, these Caucasians where I live, they're very sick people. And you know what? I don't appreciate being around people who like to disrupt the development of my intellectual capital. I just called the other day, I called, what do you call it? I called my MP, Member of Parliament, and I'm seeing how this whole infrastructure works, right? Because I don't read shit. I actually sit down and I question things. If I don't understand one word, I'll go through like 12 dictionaries, try and understand what is the origin of this word. What is the purpose of this word? How is that mental problems? How is that a broken brain? You guys got to stop your stupidness. That's why I said to you guys, I'm charging you guys $900,000 a minute. This Dr. Johnson, he works on the 5th floor of Etobicoke General. Call his fucking ass out. Who the hell is this guy? And you know what? He's Pakistani. He's a person of color. So he goes to you, professional Caucasians. And he says, oh, haha, I'm a doctor, haha. But what is he doing behind the scenes? And then he's got his white cliquey friend, another Caucasian doctor, looking at me. I said, you know what? I want to file a sexual harassment file against this guy. He's laughing at me. I said, okay, you're laughing? You're under arrest as well. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? I need to get home to do my work. Oh, what kind of work do you do? I've got scars on my hand. This is my right wrist. Right here. There's a text called Without Sanctuary. Take a look at that, McGuinty. You've got blacks that have their backs all cut up. What they do is they take an extension cord, some of these blacks. It's called house Negro plantation. It's called slavery. They take an extension cord and they tear up your back. That's a form of discipline. In slavery times, they took all kinds of stuff. Knives, who knows? All kinds of stuff. Without sanctuary, look at that text. It's a pictorial of slavery. I have these things on my body, and you know what? They faded over the years, thank goodness. Where did I get these things from? Then Peel Region Police decides to mark up my body again. I don't appreciate my body being marked up. I'm actually doing stuff in filming. Doing stuff in my discourses like I showed you. I'm showing you guys, I'm sitting in my studio. You can see how I live. I've got my bike on the roof. I can't even afford to go and fix my bike because you guys fucked up my entire stuff. The whole summer, I should have been up at you guys call them cottages, we call them cabins. We pitch our tents and we're in the wilderness with nature. You guys have fucked up all of that. I don't appreciate this. I'm going to send you guys these short documentaries, and I'm going to get in touch with the National Film Board. And you know what? I'm going to record these. I'm going to put them up on this internet site. And if modifications are made, I've got the video footage. This is an educational, and it's also a response that needs attention. A lot of dead black children. And these dead black children, they could be even like 50, 60 years old. What the hell is going on in these hospitals? You got something called a green card. It's a green credit card. It's actually called the OHIP card. That is for Caucasian medicine. Something for me, for example, if I need somebody to tell me, okay, how do I actually mix my diet stuff properly? I should be able to use this green card and go to that nutritionist, that black nutritionist. Dr. Layla Africa, Dr. Sebi's, where are they? Where are they? They have the cure for everything. Where are they? We should be able to use that card for stuff like that. I don't know if some of you officials have some time to watch this entire thing, but I don't like my time wasted, and I don't like my ability to contribute to economic innovation and economic development compromised. Got up this morning thinking about this bitch, Judy Taggart. I can't even get in my drop top. Drive around, take pictures. Bring all this stuff back to my students, my classes, my professors, my colleagues. I'm a professor in training. How is this civil and democratic? How is the process to even make a decision without involving the person that the decision about democratic? If these people can't even begin to conceptualize this, McGuinty, then you know what? Why the hell are you still premier? You think this is funny because it's been going on for a long time, and this is why I actually got in touch with the federals. Because the federals, you guys need to see what these premiers are doing. Somebody has to oversee, for example, the work that I'm doing. And then my boss says, okay, you know what, Andrea? And then they give constructive feedback. Okay, why don't we try this? Why don't we try this? You know? And they also listen to what I'm saying, because I also say to them, well, why don't we try this? Right? It's not about, this one has more power, this one has more power. It's about some kind of mutual consensus. Why am I speaking like this to McGuinty? I'm going after McGuinty because you know what? McGuinty is actually the head of everything. The entire department is toxic. Who the fuck is this guy named Ben? I've called my member of parliament. They're working on it as well. I haven't heard anything. This is a 24-hour emergency thing. I need to get my shit done. Can't even go to work. I'm sitting here in my studio and my study. Mike Sullivan, there's 56 acres in York Southwestern. 50 of those acres went to one industry, while our black children are dying. 16 acres I located again. I went to your office, and there was people at your office saying, well, we already sorted it out. I'm not even going to say his name, because that's fucking disgusting. And to the federals, this guy actually ran for the provincial election. Why weren't we in those discussions? One industry, 50 acres. Why not split the 50 acres into, let's say, an acre per, you could use an acre and say, okay, you can maybe put 10 businesses on 1 acre. Why can't you get local people from the community to invest in the community? Just ideas, and then have the capital assets available. Federals, this is how stupid these people are in the province. We're trying to figure out, how do we actually address this stuff? This housing that I live in, they can't even tell me how much they're worth. But you know what? I'm a shareholder in the organization. I'm a woman who experienced domestic violence. How is that mental health problems and a broken brain? What kind of fuckery do you guys even talk about? I asked for shareholder reports. I've been asking for them for at least 6 years. How do I tell my professors this, or my team? This is what they want to do. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to expose it all. I'm going to listen to all the comments and just going to expose it all. Very sick Caucasians. You know I live next to white trash. I live next to a drug dealer. And male, female. There's a little white girl that lives over there. I phoned Child Protection Services. You know the child is still over there? I don't do any drugs. I don't even watch Eurocentric bullshit TV. I sit and I read a lot of books. I love to write my books. And you know what? My child, my black child, was taken away from me. Why? McGuinty, tell me this. I need to know. You got a guy named George Smitherman. He took off with how many billions of dollars? Where the fuck is he? How come he's not in this mental hospital? Like they incarcerated the black male since June of 2000. He's going through some stuff right now, but he's going to be okay. You guys beat down these men. They want to have their nice black women, they want to have their nice families, and they want to do exciting things. You get a black community together, they can shut down the whole place, because you know what? Entertainment. They get everybody going. Get a group of Caucasians to do that. They don't even come close. These are the types of things you guys aggravate, Mr. McGuinty. Your government. I contacted Laura Albanese. She's my member of parliament, and her office is working on it. But I called them. They never called me back to give me an update. You know, I don't appreciate things like this. But when something gets to the point of actually going to governance, it's very serious. When something gets to the point of actually sending it to your prime minister, it's very serious. I don't like to waste people's time, and I don't like my time wasted. These Caucasians that I live around, they're very sick. Why hasn't 12 Division apprehended them? It's called white collar crime. No apprehensions related to white collar crime, at least 14 years. There's 50 acres that has been designated to one industry. You know what that industry is? Transportation. TTC people. I was so happy when Rob Ford fired the head of the TTC. And you know what? They need to say no more unions. They're fucking disgusting. $8.6 billion to one industry, and we're still dealing with our dead children. And then there's people like myself being profiled. I'm a professor. I don't know what the other one wants to get into the one who was bleeding from the vagina and also her anus. She wants to get into a couple things. The one who has been incarcerated since June of 2000, he wants to get into some things. These are things that actually are contributing to economic innovation, economic development. Come into my community and talk to the Caucasians. All high, all on these pharmaceuticals, weed, everything. Weed actually kills us. Who's bringing it into the community? You know, sometimes I have to really wonder. But I'm going to continue to send you guys these videos. I got up this morning thinking about this bitch, Judy Taggart. My entire research is obstructed. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to show everyone. Look at the comments. Look at some of the things that I actually talk about. And I'm just introducing myself to this film thing. A lot of people come to me and say, you know what? You should be on film and, you know, you should really get into TV. But you know what? I'm so disgusted with what I saw on TV. I said, you know what? I don't even want to be a part of hurting our own community. If you're going to use my image, it's going to be actually to empower the black community. I get a lot of people that come to me, and even people from other countries, like other ethnicities and stuff, they come to me, and they just stop me on the street and they say, hey, you know, it's all compliments. Are they going to be happy when they start seeing this shit on big film? I'm not going anywhere. My ass is staying right here in Ontario. But I'm going to be traveling to the NAFTA regions, all of West Africa, and all of the English-speaking Caribbean to begin with. Judy Taggart has halted all that. How much is that worth, Judy? Tell me how much the value of NAFTA is. Tell me how much the value of West Africa is. Tell me how much the value of all of the English-speaking Caribbean. You guys think it's funny. Why am I waking up and saying, oh, this bitch? She hasn't even called because she's scared. She doesn't even know what to do. Because democratic. You tell me, how is making a decision democratic when you don't even involve the person that the decision is about? Who has the broken brain? You guys can see everything, how I live. I can show you my fridge, everything. I'm a professor in training, and let me tell you guys how even sick it gets, McGuinty, because I'm coming after you. I'm going to keep on talking to you like this. I'm going to write you emails, and you should listen to your stuff. Some chick named Donna from your department, or your whatever, I don't even know what the fuck to call it, said I must get in touch with another department. Why not take initiative and say, okay, you know what, we're going to take down the person's name, we're going to take down the logistics, this, and we're going to update them. Let her investigate it according to how she knows. And say, you know what, this is wrong. I must contact another department. Got in touch with a tribunal. I must pay to access the tribunal. Where in the charter does it say we have to pay for citizenship rights? I'm going down to the courts. I don't like to be disrupted at the courts. I need to be focused. I need to be doing my things. I should be down at the courts at least once a week. What happened to all those weeks that I was missing? I went down there. There's a really nice guy. I can't remember his name. He's an officer. He said, you know what? Where were you? You haven't been here for a while. What am I supposed to say? I've been racially profiled, and you know what? They're trying to tell me that I have a broken brain. Because you know what? I focus on discourses. I've been taping this. This is a short documentary. And my responses are going to be short documentaries. Michael Moore sent me a message. He has people on his listserv or whatever. He sent a message. He's got this great film festival in Detroit. Why can't I drive down to Detroit and attend that? And then report back to governance and say, you know what? Why can't Canada do something like this? Michael Moore. He actually did a fabulous piece about healthcare. But you know what? I'm going to get in touch with Michael Moore and say, Michael, you know what? Do you actually know how the blacks get into these hospitals? He did a really good analysis, but he didn't do good justice for Canada healthcare, because there's a lot of problems with this thing called psychology being considered a part of health and care. Why would you pay a psychologist like $300,000? I have something called a green card. It's called a health, what do you call it? It's called an OHIP card, Ontario Health Insurance Plan. You know, I phoned one of these people, one of McGuinty's people, on the phone. This is the McGuinty government. Everyone is a reflection of leadership. Everyone in that governance. You know what they said to me? I said to them, why is this card a Caucasian card when I'm not even Caucasian? Then I went to explain a little bit about the human system. You have different systems. You have yellow systems, you have black systems, you have white systems, you have red systems. You have, each ethnicity has their own health system. That's how healthcare should work. They don't even teach that in the med schools. Look at what they did to the indigenous in Canada, grassy narrows. The doctors didn't even know what to do. It was Japanese physicians from their training that had to come to Canada and help these indigenous, and they didn't even give them pharmaceuticals. They were actually working with their body physiology. Dr. Masazumi Harada, his stuff, I love his stuff. How come I'm not able to read his text or even purchase his text to try and integrate my discourses into even how he actually practices? Dr. Masazumi Harada, grassy narrows. It's called Minamata disease. There was a whole center called a Minamata disease center. Judy Taggart, you've obstructed all of this. But she's still working. She's still going back to her family. I don't know if she's boozing up. I don't know if she's doing her crack cocaine. I don't know. I don't do these things. That's why I wanted to put myself on film so that you guys can see who I am. I'm not the video girl shaking my ass. I'm not the person with fucking drugs on me. I'm supposed to be down at the courthouse once a week at least. So people know, said, who are you? You know, she comes in here and she's taking notes and stuff, you know? She's sitting down and she's actually listening. Who is that person? I was just asking a couple questions. They all ran. The Attorney General of Ontario. Have you seen how these fucking courts even are run? If you go into, in federals, this is why I'm saying, you guys have to have some kind of oversight. Nobody wants you guys to know because they're terrified of you guys. But you guys actually have some class. I'm talking about the blues. You guys actually have some class. If you go into this Ontario courthouse, get one of your people just to go and look around. But somebody who has the critical thinking background. Get somebody like me just to walk around and then to report directly back to you. Wiring myself up with like FBI stuff. Then you see something why you need to even, it's almost like this whole infrastructure just needs to be shut down. You walk into a courthouse. Petitioners are all Caucasian. Predominantly. And you know what? Murder after murder after murder after murder. You should hear some of the details. I'm sitting there and say, what the fuck is this? And I'm just paying attention to the black community. Other communities, they gotta speak for themselves. When you walk into that place, they don't even give you an orientation to say this is how the court system works in Canada. You're walking around, you're looking around. They have like a menu board. There's nothing on the menu. So I'm like, what kind of fucking courthouse is this? I'm walking around. I'm like, okay, how is this place mapped out? You go to places, I'd like to hear a case. I'd like to know what the cases are. I need to go online and see what the cases are for the week. because case processing is a part of social norms. If you actually see these cases should be shaping social policy as well, economic policy, society policy. I went there, it was disgusting. You look at these people, they're so racist, it's not even funny. But you know what, I'm still going to take my ass down there. Because I should be able to rent a bus, say, you know what, fill the bus up, a bunch of us, we're going to sit our asses down in the courthouses and we're going to watch these people. Look at how they're representing us. Then we're going to report back to the federals. Don't even report back to province. Report back to the federals and let them know. And if federals are not going to listen, go international. The United Nations, I forget his name, I'm sorry, the head guy, his office, gave me some contact information. Let us know. So I've got their contact information. I live in a place, there's white trash everywhere. It's worth, I'm a shareholder in the organization. $700 million? Where did this money go? There's people that have been killed here. People found dead. 12 Division? No reports to the community. I attend 12 Division meetings. You should see how they talk to us. It's like we're supposed to be a bunch of black shit just sitting there. And I asked him another question, and this officer is kind of looking at me, and he's like, why is she asking those questions? Because you know what? That bitch knows something about what they're doing. How come the officers aren't drug tested themselves? I don't know if you actually sit in these meetings and listen to them. Some of them, they even had like black shit talk to me. And I don't know what he is in the ranking. He said, oh, well, your issues are not really a priority for us. And I said, listen, buddy, you're part of public security. You figure out what you need to do. And he's just looking at me. And he says to me, oh, well, you know who all the drug dealers are, so you know what, you get back to me directly. This is another nigger. I'm not a nigger, he's a nigger. You guys even know what a nigger is? It's an ignorant person. So you can have white, black, yellow, red, but it's not funny because the word has been used in a context that has been led to lynchings and castrations of our men. Our women, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Pregnant, they take the children, cut out the children. They use these bodies for experimentation. Look at some of the commentary on my YouTube. I'm not asking for advertising or whatever, because to me this is very ethical. Look at some of the commentary. Somebody sent me something about gynecology. How did gynecology start? If the black community knew where this fucking stuff came from, they would shut down the whole, they would fucking say, you know what, we're going to set this whole world on fire. What the fuck is gynecology and how did this thing start? Where did they get the guinea pigs from? There's something called an OHIP card, and I'm going to get in touch with Michael Moore. I'm going to send something to him because I think he should really explore that piece again. But look at, where did all these black bodies come from? This guy, since June of 2000, just take your medication because he chose not to sing and dance like Shabba Ranks. He told the officer to go fuck himself. You know what they did? They apprehended him. They wrote up this entire record about him. They suspended his driver's license too. He can't even go to work and do his work. So he's got to hustle and do some things. Because he didn't dance like Shabba Ranks? What if Shabba Ranks knew about this? You guys are so fucking stupid, it's not even funny, McGuinty. And you know what? I'm going to continue to send these emails. I'm going to continue to send these videos. I want everybody to see they have my name. Yeah, you know where I live. Let's see what happens now. Somebody going to break into my place? The federals are aware of this. This is how we should not be thinking. But because I pay attention to discourses, I read books, I go and explore nature, I don't eat your shit. You know what? I'm okay. I can, if I need to fucking hop a fence, I can hop a fence. Why are there fat police officers? Federals, why are there fat police officers? There's a lot of stuff happening. So this is my short documentary. And I'm going to get in touch with the National Film Board. And I'm going to ask to work with a producer because this is a Canadian resource. Now, federals, you need to pay attention to this. People internationally think that Canada is a joke because you have all these undercurrents that's happening. You guys are actually trying, the conservatives are trying to do something. They're trying to fix the infrastructure. But then you have the NDPs and you have the liberals and they're fucking up everything. Oh, the conservatives, they're all a bunch of dictators and they're stupid or whatever, and the media gets on. How come you don't have any media reporting about all these dead black bodies? How did they get these